technology to deliver a series of safe, efficient, and natural products. What is Simply Nature and what does it do?
Simply Nature is a company we created and founded about 10 years ago. Our mission is to find effective health solutions for people. So we provide natural products that work in combination with conventional therapy and medicine.
As an international company that provides natural solutions for cancer, metabolic syndrome, and degenerative diseases, the management upholds a health philosophy that centers on whole food nutrition as the frontier in health management.
When we talk about choosing treatment, especially in the area of cancer, patients are really afraid of chemotherapy because of its side effects, and they tend to then look towards natural products. But this is not a either conventional or natural choice. At Simply Nature, patients can have the best of both worlds. Our protocols work with conventional chemotherapy to minimize its side effects so that they can get the best treatment using both conventional and natural together.
Cancer is like a virus. It continuously evolves, it mutates, so it can develop defenses against our usual treatment modalities like chemotherapy.
Like I said, chemotherapy and radiation therapy have a lot of side effects. So more often than not, patients stop their treatment because of these side effects. It's very important to have the support.
With the supplements that we give the patients, there will be lesser side effects, so they will be able to finish their chemotherapy protocols more comfortably.
This company introduced PPARs, which is touted as one of the best natural ways of solving serious health problems.
PPARs stands for peroxisome proliferator activating receptors. It's basically a nuclear receptor found inside the cells. Now, when these receptors are activated, the benefit that you can get from that is, number one, cellular differentiation. Number two, it's to promote fatty acid metabolism. If you have better insulin function, your blood sugar will naturally go down. And another one is to induce cancer cell death by modulating the immune system.
As a sole distributor of PPARs, the company promotes its use to many reputable health institutions worldwide and actively organizes corporate health conferences and public health talks in Asia.
Simply Nature PPARs is made out of a special strain of these types of microalgae. It is very effective by protecting the bone marrow. We maintain the integrity of the immune system of the patient, which is very important to prevent infections and to fight off the cancer itself. And also, Simply Nature PPARs is also very dense in nutrients so that the patient can recover faster because of better cellular healing.
Sabi ko parang na-lead kami to an extraordinary and I must say amazing journey. I'm very proud of him. At a young age, na 8 years old, he believed that it's his purpose to siguro encourage other people then. We would like to really pay it forward with the knowledge that there's really like Simply Nature that can help people with cancer very much.
When fighting cancer, living healthy is very important because it allows us to pursue what is important to us in life, and that's what it's all about. When we can help a patient move from being bedridden to getting up, to be lucid in thought so that they can have conversations with their loved ones, it gives the whole process of fighting cancer a whole new meaning. And that is what drives us at Simply Nature. everyone, it's back to school season, and all the parents out there, I'm sure you're both excited but also concerned about your kids going back to school, mingling with their fellow friends and students. So today, I've invited Dr. Jansen to give you important advice about sending kids back to school. Doc, how do the parents protect their kids?
Here are the things that we can do, okay? So we can do the things that we have always been doing for the past 2 years. Tell them to wear their mask and only remove them when they are eating and drinking or doing vigorous intensity exercise, okay, so that they don't suffocate. Okay, number 3 is to tell them to always wash their hands. Of course, more importantly is to get them vaccinated for flu and also for COVID-19. Okay, for COVID-19, Pfizer is the one that I would recommend. Okay, so aside from this, feed them a lot of fruits and vegetables. Okay, because here's the evidence that really a high amount of consumption of fruits and vegetables can do wonders for immune system. Okay, so aside from fruits and vegetables, again, exercise at least 60 minutes every day, and of course, sufficient sleep. Okay?
So it's good. Don't stop your kids from running around in school and playing with their friends, especially running, right? So let them exercise. Doc, important question for all the parents out there. I'm sure every parent would want to supplement their kids, even if they don't supplement themselves. They will buy like vitamin C syrup and things like that because they're sending their kids back to school, face-to-face contact with other students. Doc, as a doctor and a lifestyle specialist, how would you choose and how would you recommend parents go about supplementing their kids?
I would choose a whole food supplement. Okay, so by whole food, it means that the supplement that you're giving is in a whole food form, meaning it is unprocessed and unrefined. Fruits and vegetables, that was converted into a pill form. Okay?
So, because sometimes you just can't get your kids to eat their vegetable.
Yes, that's one thing. And of course, you want your supplement to have that antioxidant punch, so that you get the added protection.
So is antioxidants the only thing you look for? I mean, that's usually what people see when they get a vitamin C plus zinc syrup or things like that. What other functions do you look for in a supplement when it comes to the immune system?
Yeah. It should have an immunomodulatory effect.
Wow, that's a big word, Doc.
Yes. So what does immunomodulatory means? So immunomodulatory means that it makes our immune system smart. When it needs to kill off bacteria, it is vicious. But when it needs to tone down or when it needs to calm down, then it calms down immediately. Okay, so what are the supplements out there that has an immunomodulatory property? Okay, beta-glucan.
Beta-glucan,
Yes,
okay.
beta-glucan is derived from mushrooms. So yeah, you can actually feed your kids mushrooms instead.
Yeah.
Okay, green leafy vegetables. Okay, your malunggay.
Oh, malunggay.
Yes.
So malunggay supplement would be a good choice.
It would be a good
or
choice.
you could make your kids' favorite tinola.
Yes, you can just feed your kids malunggay. Okay, so I would rather choose something that I cannot still a whole food supplement, but something that I cannot get from a palengke.
Okay.
Okay, I cannot get from a market. Okay, that would be your microalgae. Okay, because microalgae, of course, you cannot just get it from the river, okay, or get it from the lake outright. You have to clean it. But microalgae are really
superfoods.
They are superfoods. They are packed with antioxidants. It has an immunomodulatory effects, and they are really good. Okay, and the taste is quite good actually. Yeah, it's quite good. Okay, so yeah, that's how I would choose the supplements.
And I would recommend Simply Nature Pipa tablets because we are clinically proven to be immunomodulators. So Doc, for yourself and your kids, your future kids, you wouldn't just like get those isolated vitamins like vitamin zinc, iron kind of thing. You would always advise a whole food supplement instead.
Yes.
Because in your whole food supplements, you have more than just the zinc, the vitamin C, the vitamin D, and the vitamin E. You have a lot of other good stuff. So with that, we wish you and your kids a great back to school season.
CA markers. Mataas siya. Then, after 3 months, nung pag-take ko ng Simply Nature, doon, naging normal na siya until now. Kahit si Dr. Johan na gulat siya kasi biglang normal agad in just 3 months, nag-normal agad yung CEA ko. 1 year and 5 months, cancer-free. Dapat may food supplements kayo, like Simply Nature, na proven and tested ko na. Talagang hindi ako pwedeng mawala ng Simply Nature na yan.
2019, I was being diagnosed a cancer of my uterus. So I was shocked. Sabi ko, bakit nagkaroon ako ng ganito? Samantalang hindi ako mahilig sa pagkain. I'm sorry, basura. Started the tablet and then the powder. Tinry ko din yung yung tawag dito.
Gel?
Yeah, yung gel. Yes.
Yeah.
It's really good. After 2 months ng aking therapy and taking PPARs, sabi ni doktora, magpa-laboratory ka na. So, nung nagpa-laboratory na ako, praise God, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, lahat normal. To God be the glory. Salamat sa Diyos. Sa 2 months ko po ng aking pag-take ng PPARs, ako po ay cancer-free.
Having said that, it is not without hope, but we know that our treatment, our approach should also be aggressive because these types of leukemias can be treated.
Hi everyone, welcome to another special episode of Simply Healed, and we have with us again Dr. Jansen.
Hello everyone, hello Shan. Glad to be here again and welcome to our 3-part episode.
Yes,
about,
3-part.
Yeah, about leukemia. Okay.
So after attending this, you will get a certificate. No, you won't get a certificate, but you will actually know a lot about leukemia. This is something new that we are doing. We've so many feedback from our listeners. They enjoy all the things that they learn.
Yeah.
So Dr. Jansen and I thought that it would be interesting to do a series where we will really go a bit in depth. But don't worry, we will not use medical terms predominantly so that it's easy for you to understand. But what we hope to do with this new 3-part series is a clear understanding of leukemia, which is blood cancer.
Yeah.
All right, so are you guys ready? Put on your safety belts. Okay, we're gonna dive right into the topic. Okay, when people say that leukemia is the same as blood cancer.
Yes, it is blood cancer.
It is blood cancer. Okay. When we hear blood cancer, does it mean that the cancer is in your blood vessels?
No, not really. No. So when we talk about leukemia or blood cancer, this is the cancer of the body's blood-forming tissues,
The bone marrow.
specifically the bone marrow. And when it comes to the bone marrow, we have 2 parts. We have the red and the yellow. It's the red part of the bone marrow.
Oh, I didn't know that we have 2 colors of bone marrow.
Yes, it's the red part of the bone marrow that develops cancer.
Then doc, would it be more accurate to say that whenever we say a person has leukemia and blood cancer, is it more accurate to say that I have bone marrow cancer?
Yes, it's tantamount to that. It's synonymous.
Right? So it's not really you have blood. So for everyone, we hear the term leukemia, we hear blood cancer, but more accurately, when you have leukemia, you have bone marrow cancer. The cancer is actually in your bone marrows. So doc, where do we go from there?
Okay, so for leukemia, we have 2 types, no? So we have the lymphoid and the myeloid. Okay, please don't confuse, okay? These are really technical terms, but it's what they call the two types, okay? So please take a look at this diagram, okay? So we'll go through this one by one so you understand what leukemia is. So first, before I discuss the abnormal, I'll first discuss the normal, okay? So take a look at this diagram, okay?
The other one,
Yeah.
alright.
Okay. So this is how a normal blood cell forms. Okay. So it starts out as a blood stem cell. So the stem cell is like the baby. Okay. So it's like your young self, like you are a newborn.
So a blood stem cell is a stem cell that can change into many different types of blood cells.
Yes.
Alright, so now we
but,
understand.
Yeah, but first you have to understand this. So you are a baby inside a mother's womb.
Okay.
So you do not know what your sex is, male
Alright.
or female.
Right, right.
So this is the same. A blood stem cell doesn't know if it will become a myeloid stem cell or it will become a lymphoid stem cell. Just like a baby doesn't know if it's a male or a female.
Until a certain stage.
Until a certain stage where you can see already. Okay, I have a daughter. I have a son.
So this thing for babies we call it maturing or developing.
Yeah,
right?
developing. Yeah.
So throughout our discussion on leukemia, and we talk about these blood cells, you will hear the word maturing, and that maturing process is very important to us understanding the different types
yes,
of
because
leukemia.
specific types of leukemia has specific characters, okay, specific levels, specific blood cells that are abnormal. Okay, so let's move on. Okay.
Okay.
So now, once it knows that it's myeloid or lymphoid, so once you know you are a female or a male, then from that gender point of view, then you will know what career path you will go to. Sort of like that.
Okay, understand.
So this is not being sexist, but it's the typical as a kid you want. For example, you're a kid. I mean, you are a male kid. You are a boy. You normally want to become a pilot or a soldier or something. But of course, females can also do the same. But you get my point. Okay. So now take a look at the myeloid stem cell, the lymphoid stem cells. Okay, so this is what I mean. So the myeloid stem cell can form what?
Oh,
Okay.
these three very important things
Yes.
that we hear of: the red blood cell,
Red blood cells.
platelets is for
platelets.
clotting, right?
Yeah, platelets is for clotting. Red blood cells is for your oxygen, for your hemoglobin.
And also nutrients.
Yeah, also the nutrients. Okay, so that red blood cells is a myeloid form. Okay, and the leukocytes. So for white blood cells, we have two different white blood cells. We have the lymphocytes and we have the leukocytes. Okay, so the leukocytes or the eosinophils, the neutrophils, the basophils, the granulocytes. No?
All these are big words,
Yeah.
which I will explain without.
Okay, so for those of you who get your CBC regularly, so if you take a look at white blood cells, under white blood cells you have different subtypes, right? So those are the leukocytes, except the lymphocytes, because the lymphocytes is a different one.
Okay.
But both are different types of white blood cells.
So
okay?
important thing to note, I always thought that there's only one type of white blood cell. It's white blood cells.
Okay,
Alright, but actually white blood cells consist of different categories and they have different functions in the immune system, which we will talk a little bit about that just in a while. But I think we got it so far.
So that is how the myeloid tree forms. No, so let's discuss the lymphoid tree. So when the blood stem cell transforms into a lymphoid stem cell, that lymphoid stem cell will mature as a kid. No, as a kid it will transform into a lymphoblast. So the lymphoblast is the kid.
And it has a whole different set of career path
Yeah.
from the myoblast.
Yeah.
So instead of instead of soldiers, now we have pilots and
Yeah,
other career paths.
Other career paths. No?
paths,
So
alright.
it can specialize. The lymphoblast can specialize to become a B lymphocyte, a T lymphocyte, or a natural killer cell. Okay.
Doc, I see here on the chart, both the leukocytes and the lymphocytes are all white blood cells.
Yes.
So maybe what's the difference between the white blood cells from the myeloid stem cell tree and the lymphoid stem cell tree? And for this lymphoid stem cell tree, this means it's in the lymph nodes. We always hear about our lymph nodes.
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll discuss it in a while. I'll answer the first question first. So, what is the difference between this? Okay, aside from it coming from different trees, no? So the leukocytes, your neutrophils, your basophils, your eosinophils, these are part of the innate immune system. So the first time you encounter COVID, for example, this is the branch of the immune system that fights it. That's why you feel fever. Okay, that's why you feel coughing, you feel cold, you develop colds. Okay, so it's because of this. Now, the second time you encounter COVID, you won't get sick anymore, supposedly. You won't get sick anymore. That's the concept. Okay? So, the second time you encounter the virus, it is the adaptive immune system that will work, which is the lymphocytes, the B lymphocytes, the T lymphocyte, and that natural killer cells. Okay? So, that is the difference between these two.
So what Dr. Jansen has explained is very easy to understand. If you take a look on the chart again, on the left side, the myeloid stem cells and the tree that grows from there, the white blood cells there, are innate immune system. This is your first line of defense.
Yes.
And it will fight whatever viruses that comes. It is not specialized. It is supposed to be effective for all viruses, all bacteria. The other side of the tree, where your lymph nodes are more specialized. They learn from the first battle that your innate immune system fights, and they are called the adaptive. Is this the
that is the adaptive.
That's why they're called the adaptive immune system.
Right.
They adapt based on what they learn from the first fight. And they are more specialized, and that's where our mRNA vaccines are, right? They treat, They avoid the first fight. Oh, is that what happens?
So it's exactly what happens if you get vaccinated.
The vaccine is like the first. It's like the innate. It gives the
first encounter.
The first encounter, which normally you have to get by being exposed to a virus, and your innate immune system fights it.
Yes.
Then your adaptive immune system
learns
from
it. Yes. So the next time you encounter the virus, it will be much faster for you to kill it. So you won't get sick at all. You won't know that you already got infected and it was already fought off.
So today's class, which is supposed to be about leukemia, we have a more in-depth understanding of how our immune system works. There's the innate part and then the adaptive. So Doc, I want to ask a very important question though. Since the innate immune system is the first line of defense, what happens if that doesn't work?
Okay, so if it doesn't work, then you will succumb to infection. In other words, you can die from infection. To answer your second question, so why is it called myeloid and why is it called lymphoid?
Oh yes,
okay.
Yeah, why?
Why is it called like that? It's because they differentiated it based on where they mature. So if you call it myeloid, these cells mature inside the bone marrow. So you have to remember this because this is very important to the different types of leukemia and the symptoms that they manifest. Okay. So the lymphoid stem cell mature in the lymph nodes, in the rest of the body. Okay, so there are in under the lymphoid branch, you have your B lymphocytes, you have your T lymphocytes. So this is also very important because we have exception to the rule. So B lymphocyte stands for bone. So the B lymphocytes mature inside the bone. So they first mature inside the bone, they come out. So they come out to the blood matured already. Now for T lymphocytes, they mature inside the thymus. Okay. So inside the thymus forms, we have the thymus when we are still kids, no? We are still very young, but when we become adults, the thymus actually disappears on its own. Okay, I don't know why, but it disappears on its own, and it's where T lymphocytes mature. Okay, so that is the
natural killer cells.
The natural killer cells also mature in the lymph nodes.
In the lymph nodes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so.
So Doc, suddenly another question comes to my mind. See, guys, I'm learning together with you, right? So I'm gonna do what you would do, which is ask Doc questions. So actually, we said earlier in the program that leukemia is the same. A more accurate term is bone marrow cancer.
Yeah.
So, but if it's a lymphoid type of leukemia, is it accurate to say that it's a lymph node?
That is a different cancer.
Oh, the lymph node cancer is different.
One last thing, okay? Please remember the myeloid stem cell. So take a look at the diagram again. Myeloid stem cell, lymphoid stem cell, myeloblast, and the lymphoblast. Take a look at those four because those four will determine the subtypes of the different types of leukemia.
And we
Okay.
have 4 types of leukemia
have
that
4
we'll
types.
discuss
Yeah.
over the next 2 more
Yes,
segments.
yes.
Are you guys still with us? Is this interesting? If it's interesting, just type there, oh, you're learning something, all right?
Okay.
So like I said, thanks to Dr. Jansen, we're getting a St. Luke's education for free, all right?
Okay, so next, let's discuss what is the cause, the fundamental cause of
Yes.
leukemia. We have internal factors and external factors for this, but the basic reason for developing leukemia is a genetic abnormality. Okay, it's because of the genes. So certain genetic abnormalities that should happen is translocation, deletion, and inversion. So these are very technical words, but these are the subtypes. Okay,
But basically, it's like what happened to Japan
when they got bombed.
when they
by
got
the
bombed.
nuclear-
There was an increase in leukemia
cases.
patients.
Yes, this is exactly what happened. But for the case of Japan, it is external factors.
Okay.
Because external factors, one of the factors there is exposure to radiation.
So that means radiation therapy can increase.
Yes, it's a side effect.
You could end up. You can develop leukemia if you have extensive radiation.
It's,
therapy.
if you have extensive, prolonged exposure to radiation, specifically radiation therapy. So that's why radiation therapy is a double-edged sword. Nevertheless,
What other external factors? You mentioned radiation.
Yeah, occupation as well. If
Okay.
you are working in a radiation facility, that you can also
like
develop
if you're a
one.
radiologist.
Yeah.
No wonder they always wear that
Yeah, if
lead,
you are
lead
gown.
lead
Working
gown.
in a hospital, you are a radiation technologist. You are working inside a nuclear medicine facility. You are working inside a nuclear plant.
Wow.
Okay, that can also happen with all the
Wow.
safety precautions. But yeah, safety precautions are there for a reason, for this specific reason.
So that you don't
Yeah.
develop leukemia.
Another one is for exposure to formaldehyde. Okay.
So that's mortuary.
Yeah, mortuary.
Even biolabs.
The biolabs.
because they
Yes.
use a lot of formaldehyde.
Okay, so another one is benzene. But this one, benzene is exposure to cigarette smoke. Okay, so
You don't actually have to smoke
Yeah.
the cigarette. You could be secondhand
yeah,
smoke.
it can also be the exhaust from the cars.
Oh,
You can also develop leukemia from.
benzene is used in the manufacture of, I think, roads as well. It's in the tar and
Yeah.
things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So yeah, that's a specific chemical can cause leukemia.
Okay, so
So-
leukemia not caused through
Yeah.
diet,
So
but actually caused through exposure.
Exposure. So if you are someone who is a jeepney driver, tricycle drivers, yes, these are the professions which have a very high exposure to benzene. If you are working inside the casino and your clients or your players are all smoking in front of you, this is also one.
Okay, so
Okay,
I learned something. Okay.
Internal factors. No, internal factors are congenital abnormalities. If you are someone who was born with Down syndrome, then your risk for leukemia is really high. Okay. Now, next is so these are the causes. No, so
We're gonna
now
learn
what
about
happens-
the 4 types.
yeah. Well, now what happens when, remember the immature cells that I have mentioned, okay? So when you get exposed to these external factors, no? So what happens is the immature cells or the blast cells are unable to differentiate or unable to specialize. That is the time when it becomes leukemia.
Oh, and guys, take a look at the chart again, right? You can see after the myeloid and the lymphoid stem cell and the lymphoblast and the myeloblast, you will see the important things that we are familiar with because of COVID-19, right? We are familiar with red blood cells, platelets, white blood cells, and I believe many of us are familiar with the term natural killer cells. So, Doc, all these things on the last row become abnormal because of your
yes,
bone
because
marrow,
yeah,
because of your leukemia.
yeah, because you will not be able to function. Let's say, for example, you won't be able to function as a doctor if you did not study first, if you did not undergo medical school to train, to grow, to develop.
Mm.
All right, so it's similar. You have numerous amounts of myeloid stem cells. You have numerous amounts of myeloblasts, lymphoblasts, lymphoid stem cells.
Who all failed their
Who all
high school.
failed their tests, who all failed their exams, so they cannot become doctors, become lawyers, become pilots, become
they can't.
professionals.
So that's why leukemia
cannot-
is so deadly.
Yeah,
your
they
your
cannot
red blood
function.
cells are not
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Wow, your platelets are not working.
Platelets are not working.
And your white blood cells are not working.
Not working.
It's almost like AIDS, right? Your white blood cells not
Are
working.
not
You don't have
working.
an immune system.
It's like you have a lot of graduates, but they cannot pass the board exam. So,
so you
But
have
you-
lots of graduates, but no nurses, no doctors, because they can't pass the board exam.
similar.
Okay, so that's what
Okay.
happens to you when you get leukemia. Oh my God, there's very important functions of your
Yeah,
blood
okay.
and your immune system not working.
Okay, so now it's very clear. That is what happens. Now let's differentiate between the acute form and the chronic form. Okay, so if we say the acute form of leukemia, okay, so the one that is abnormal there, or the one that is very numerous in amount, is the myeloid stem cell and the lymphoid stem cell. Okay, so we have acute. When we say acute myeloid leukemia, then the one that is very numerous is the myeloid stem cell. When we say acute lymphoblastic leukemia, then it's the lymphoid stem cells that is very numerous. Okay, so that is also true when it comes to the chronic form. So
No,
yeah,
so it's very easy to remember because literally the types of cancer is ALL stands for acute lymphoid
yes.
leukemia, and then AML stands for acute
Myeloid.
myeloid leukemia. Okay, so now you know. Now you have a picture
Okay.
of what that means. I'm gonna show the myeloid stem cell there. You see the AML, yeah, and you see the lymphoid stem cells. You see the ALL. So
Yeah.
that's the type of cancer that you have based
Yeah.
on that.
Okay, so that is also true with the chronic form. So you have chronic myelogenous leukemia, you have numerous amounts of myeloblasts. So remember, myeloblasts mature from myeloid stem cells. Okay, so that's a one step level of maturity. So that's also true with lymphoblasts. So when you have chronic lymphoblastic leukemia, then you have numerous amounts of lymphoblasts. Okay, so remember those. So why did they use the words acute and chronic?
Yes.
Because it depends on the age group. Now
So-
we have the age group.
Acute means short and fast. So
Yeah.
that means young.
Young. Yes,
Chronic means long time.
Long time. So you see the chronic form in
Old.
old people, older
Ah.
people, adults mainly. Okay, and you see the acute form in younger people. Right?
So when we
So-
take a look at the 4 types of leukemia,
Yeah, this is according to age. So the different types of leukemia common to the age group. So for those who are less than 24 years old, the common one is the acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Once you grow older, 25 to 49, that's acute myeloid leukemia. Then once you are in your 50s, 50 to 64 years old, then you have acute myeloid leukemia and your chronic myeloid leukemia. Okay, then once you are elderly, more than 65 years old, the common one is the chronic lymphoblastic leukemia. Okay?
all right. So today we have learned about the 4 different types of leukemia. What I really got out is I now better understand this thing called my blood
Yes.
and my immune system. I understand the innate immune system and the adaptive immune system. They are all found in my blood, but manufactured or matured in different places.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so, Doc, before we round up, what is the importance or the difference between the 4? I know you will go into details in the next session.
Yeah.
Okay, but basically, we can see that the ALL, AML, and the 4 different types of leukemia fall into age groups. My question now is it possible for someone older to get an acute leukemia,
Yes.
lymphoid leukemia?
Yes.
And
Now-
what does that mean?
Okay. If you see a type of leukemia not common to the age group, so let's say for example, you are more than 65 years old, then you develop acute lymphoblastic leukemia. What does it mean? That is bad news. Because usually when we see a type of cancer outside of its common age group, tends to be aggressive and the prognosis tends to be bad. Okay? So having said that, it is not without hope, but we know that our treatment, our approach should also be aggressive because these types of leukemias can be treated.
So that I think, Doc, on that note, maybe this is a good place to stop because we see so many questions coming in,
Yeah.
and not only about leukemia but other cancers.
But other
as well.
cancers as well.
But
no?
Doc, I think I would like to end on something that I heard you just say, I think is so important, and which is why I hope that all these educational programs that we're doing is helpful to our listeners out there and our viewers. You said that if it's aggressive cancer, then you've got to attack it aggressively.
Yeah.
I think so. That's an important thing to note, to know what type of cancer you have, whether it's aggressive or it's not, and that will determine your approach. And with that, I think, any last words from you, Dr. Jansen, before we go on to the AMA?
Okay.
Ask me anything.
Yeah. All right. Everyone, please, if you do not understand the things that we have just discussed, please watch the video again and again and again. Okay? Because what we have just said are very important for you to understand the succeeding sessions, the succeeding topics, for you to be able to understand what the difference between these different types of leukemias. Okay? But of course, even if you have these leukemias, no, please do not lose hope, because there's always a treatment options for these types. Okay, what is important for you at this level, no? What is important for you to understand is, if you have leukemia, you best get treated. Do not wait for it you do not wait for it to go untreated. Okay, for a very long time, because once leukemia gets untreated for a very long period of time, for quite a while, okay, the prognosis tends to be worse and worse and worse, and it's very difficult to get treated with this. It's best to get treated when you don't feel anything at all. Okay,
That is a very important thing
Yes.
to take note
you
of.
will know why in the next episode, so stay tuned.
All right, so that's it. Let's go to our Ask Me Anything segment.
Go.
Good evening, everyone! Hello, this is your healthcare specialist, Beth, and welcome to another episode of Simply Healed webinar brought to you by Simply Nature. And now we are at the Ask Me Anything portion. Your questions are very much welcome. No, I can see a lot of questions are coming in, so let me introduce to you the CEO of Simply Nature and also our PPARS expert, Mr. Sean Lim. Good evening, Sir Sean.
Hi, Beth. Thank
Hello,
you very much,
sir.
everyone. Today, new faces. First of all, Sheila is just taking a break today, and we
Yes.
actually have our healthcare specialist. Those of you who consult with Dr. Jansen will be
Yes.
familiar with Beth. All right, and also online now, the team is growing.
Yes.
So Jen, our pharmacist, Jen, who's our pharmacist, is also online to help answer any questions and assist any of the listeners.
Yes.
All right. We tried to get Dr. Jansen. He's actually in Korea right now.
Yes.
He is trying out for the new K-pop group.
Yes.
Okay, no, he's not. All right. Wait.
Yes.
Laughter is the best medicine, right? So I
Yes.
just wanted to lighten the mood. I hope everybody enjoyed. Today's special Simply Healed segment, because today it was a bit more educational and a bit more technical.
Yeah.
I hope that if Doc Jansen was here tonight, he would say, "I hope you learned a lot tonight."
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
And so today I'll be handling the AMA without Doc Jansen. He's trying to log on from Korea, but it looks like he's not able to do so. So here we go, Beth. Let's go. Let's
start,
tackle.
sir.
Let me be.
Yes.
Wait. But let me.
Yes, sir.
Some caveats. The more technical questions about leukemia and medicine, I tune in next week, because this is
Yes.
going to be a 4-week series.
Yes.
We're going in depth about so you can ask those questions again. But my area of expertise is still PPARs and the protocol that go along with that. So I'll try to answer those questions. All right.
Yes.
Okay, Beth.
Yes,
let's
sir.
go.
Yes, sir. So, first question coming from Miss Jasmine Paliso. What is the best diet for people with leukemia? Yes.
All right. Doc Jansen's standard answer, and
Yes.
it's something that I totally agree with, is plant-based whole food diets.
Yes.
You know, Even before I met Dr. Jansen and got into the details of why plant-based diets are good, there's this very interesting study called the China study. This was actually conducted by the US government. And they studied kids and people from China. But it's thousands of people. And what they realized is that certain foods trigger or feed your cancer. So in line with this question that you asked, you will be wondering, why do doctors like Dr. Jansen always prescribe or encourage you to take plant-based diets? Because they found out from the study, which was conducted over many years, over thousands of people, was that animal protein activated cancer. All right, so it means that if your parents have cancer, your mom has cancer, your uncle has cancer, your grandparents have cancer, it means that you have cancer genes in your body. Does this mean that you will get cancer? The answer is no. Just imagine this. Imagine in your garden, if you throw seeds, maybe some sunflower seeds in the garden, if you do not water your garden, the seeds stay in the ground. The seeds stay in the ground, but they don't grow. Now, animal protein has found to be like water for the seeds in your DNA. So even if your parents or your family has history of cancer, if you don't take animal protein, the DNA doesn't get triggered. So you can actually live a cancer-free life even though you have cancer genes. So I hope that's an interesting answer to your question. So basically, yes, the perfect food for all cancer patients will be plant-based whole foods. And that does not mean you eat, fake burgers like Beyond Meat and all that, because that's highly processed also. So, that's why we work with people like Chef B, who will give wonderful recipes where the actual dish is plant-based, not trying to pretend to be meat, is delicious. And also, I think in Philippines, gising, pinakbet. All right, for me, I enjoy going to Chinese restaurants to eat baked chai. Okay, tofu is great, right? So hot pot tofu is nice, tofu stew is nice. If you like Korean, then the Koreans have wonderful tofu stews. So those are foods that are good for cancer patients and people who want to avoid getting cancer. Even for cancer survivors, that's what you want to do. All right. Okay. You'll be asking, if protein triggers cancer, what about plant protein? In the China study, they actually tested with people using plant protein, and they found that plant protein does not have the same effect as animal protein. Now, some of you, Dr. Jansen's not here tonight, so I'll tell you. Okay? It's really difficult to cut out meat, right? Because most of us grew up as carnivores. We ate a lot of meat. Now, in the China study, it showed something very interesting. It showed that if you kept your diet less than 20% meat, you basically starve the cancer a lot. So what the first target you can go for, if you are a person that find it very hard to cut out meat from your life, is this: aim to eat less than 20% of your food is meat. So my mother-in-law loves to cook vegetables with Beth, what's the term for minced meat in Tagalog?
It's
gising, is it?
Giniling, sir.
Giniling.
Yes.
Giniling, yes. Okay, so for Lily, hi Lily. Lily from Malaysia, all right?
Hi, Mom
Okay.
Lily.
Yeah, so one of the ways you can cook delicious vegetables for people who love meat, for example, if you go to Din Tai Fung, they have string beans, long beans, but they have a bit of giniling on top.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it makes it very delicious. So that way, it's not even 10% meat, it's just a little bit of giniling, minced meat, fried with your steam or cooked with your vegetables. So that's another way for you to get onto the plant-based diet, okay, gradually, all right? Okay, I hope that helps to answer your question.
Yes.
Okay, next one.
Yes. For the next one, sir, it's off topic, but how about myoma? What is the best PPAR protocol?
Okay, for myomas, myomas are benign. They're not cancerous, all right? So depending on the type of myomas, we've discussed this before. I would advise you to go for on one-to-one consult with Dr. Jansen so that he can see your scans, all right? But what he will most likely prescribe to you will probably be either the powder extract, and usually the powder extract will be, okay, that's my dog in the background making really funny noises, okay? He will probably prescribe to you powder extract because that's probably the strongest that you need, maybe even just soft gel. So depending on your condition, how bad is your myoma, the nature of your myomas as well, and the size as well. And also don't forget to take your tablets. With all our extracts, take together with the tablets. Because extracts are like the key to switch on your engine, the tablets is the fuel to actually run your car, your immune system. All right? Okay.
For Ma'am Jocelyn, Ma'am, if you want to go for a consult for Dr. Jansen, just comment down and I will reach out to you to have an appointment with Doc po. So, yes. Next question, sir. Hold on, sir. From Miss Sammy, is soya milk okay with people with AML? Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
All right. Yes,
That's the most recommended milk of Doc Jansen, soya milk. And
soy milk.
Yes.
And try and get the unsweetened one.
Yes.
All right, because sugar is really feeds cancer as well, and it's very easy to get sugar in your diet anyway. Because as long as you have carbohydrates, they convert to sugar. All right, so you will need to eat rice even as a cancer patient. So try to avoid, eating excessive sugary stuff. I think oat milk and all those plant-based milks are also a good alternative. But the good thing about soy milk is high in protein.
Yes, we usually recommend that to all of our patients, sir. Soy milk. Soy milk is
Yes.
the number one. Yes, sir. So, for the next question from Miss Roqueta. I'm 58 years old. When diagnosed of chronic myelogenous leukemia, I'm now 65. I have maintenance chemo pill which I will be taking for life according to my doctor. Will it still be possible to stop taking the chemo pill?
Okay. Everything is possible, all right? Now, go for a consult with Dr. Jansen one-on-one, all right? Now, depending on your health condition, it will determine how long it takes to reverse the process or strengthen your body enough to not be on the chemo, okay? But before you, and I'm glad you're asking this question because you are not surrendering to that verdict. All right, so yes, everything is possible. First off, prayer, all right? With God, all things are possible, okay? Now, on our side, we have responsibility to take care of our health. Go for a one-on-one consult with Dr. Jansen. As you can see during our lecture, right, what PPAR's protocol does is that it actually goes and promotes proper cell delineation, cell differentiation, which is the maturation, as in the program we talk about. The students finally, after graduating, they can pass their board exam and really become doctors, engineers, and so on and so forth. So that's what PPAR protocol helps with the maturation of your cells, so that they graduate and become the proper cells that they were designed to be. Right? But that takes time. So at this point also is, I'd like to introduce a concept but this is from traditional Chinese medicine. So in the traditional Chinese medicine, you will notice that unlike Western conventional medicine, if you see a Chinese physician, they will not tell you that you will get well in 1 week or 2 weeks. They usually go for a minimum of 3 months and 6 months. There's a reason for this. For the Chinese approach, the traditional Chinese medicine approach, they go for repairing the organ, all right? They repair the organ. So it's very interesting to realize, right? One thing today we learned, I have AML, okay? I have a type of leukemia. And that's in the West or in Philippines, that's what you think. I have cancer, okay? For the traditional Chinese medicine, they won't explain your AML this way. They will say that your bone marrow is not functioning. they won't call it cancer. They'll tell you your bone marrow is not functioning. So we're going to give you medicine and approaches to fix the bone marrow so that you won't have your illness. I hope you guys can see the difference. One gives you a name for the disease. The other one tells you which organ is weak or not working. So let's approach it by correcting that organ. Now, there is a simple understand, and why it takes longer in traditional Chinese medicine is because it takes time for the cells in each organ to replace itself. So you will have new skin every about 6 weeks. All right. So if you give yourself 3 months, your skin changes two times. So if your skin changes 2 times, you will have better skin. Different organs take different amount of time to totally replace itself or regenerate. And the worst type is the bone. So in generally speaking, in traditional Chinese medicine, if you have any problem with your bones, the replacement time is years. So that's a very long treatment approach. But basically, you need to have your bones replaced over time, and that's where your cells replace the old cells, new cells replacing them. Oh, Doc Jansen! Calling from Korea?
Hi, Doc! Hi, Doc!
Hi, Doc! Okay. Oh, Doc Jansen. Doc, you are muted. You're muted. Okay, guys.
Hello. I'm in the hotel right now.
All right.
Hi,
Thank
Doc.
you for checking in. I'm getting some technical questions on cancer, but thank you for checking in, everybody. Doc Jansen's with us just to say hi. Okay, he's in Korea right now. I told him to do, if he could, to check in. Doc, you look like you're going for K-pop audition.
For K-pop? Oh, really? Hello.
So enjoy your trip in Korea. Thank you for
Yes.
Thank you, Doc.
You want to say something to all our regular viewers? We have
they're
our
all
friends
right
from
now.
KL, from all over the world. So
Wow. Okay, are we on right now?
yes, you're on.
Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone, to all our viewers. I'm here in South Korea right now, so I hope you enjoyed your time with Shan, and all your questions have been answered. Yeah.
I told them to reserve the more medical questions for you next week. I'll be answering most of the questions regarding the PIPA protocols.
Yes. Anyway, just send your questions. The team can send me your questions and I can answer anyway. So feel free, just ask away.
All right, so you guys heard it. Just ask your questions. Even if Dr. Jansen cannot answer them tonight at the AMA, the team will forward the questions to him, and he will let them know, and they will answer back to you guys, or we will tackle it next week. All right, Doc, thank you for joining us. Enjoy your trip in Korea.
Yeah, thank you, Shan. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you,
thank you,
Doc.
everyone. Enjoy the night.
Okay, let's go to the next question.
Yes. For our next question, sir, about food again, what is the best food to take for people with anemia?
Oh, okay. Oh, Beth, this one Doc actually went through with you, right?
Yes,
Foods
sir.
rich in iron. You want to try this?
A little bitter.
Okay. Alright, for people with anemia, you want foods rich in iron. What I want to, again, plant-based foods, because minerals like iron is actually you get it from plants. Sorry, that's Joy. That's my corgi sitting behind me. All right. So many people think that if you're anemic, you have to eat beef, you have to take milk, you have to take cheese and things like that. But that's not true. Okay. You can get your iron and all these important nutrients directly. Okay. Because when you eat it from the cow, it's indirect. The cow gets it from the plants. Okay, and humans can eat plants directly, so we don't need a secondary source. So of course, if you need iron, eat vegetables like spinach
Green leafy vegetables, sir. Doc
Yeah,
Jansen
green leafy
really
vegetables,
recommend green
right?
leafy vegetable. Yes.
You know, and this is very interesting topic when somebody asks, because when people need minerals, they tend to get some mineral supplements.
Yes.
So that doesn't really work well. You know, if you eat a lot of, for example, calcium supplements, you can actually, many people with calcium supplements get kidney stones, calcium kidney stones. Okay, but if you eat a lot of green vegetables, you won't get kidney stones. Okay, so what's the difference? The difference is that if you lack iron, you cannot go to the construction site, get an iron, and then take a knife and scrape some iron and eat it. It doesn't work. You also, you know, chalk has calcium, right? Chalk is basically calcium carbonate, right? So you can't eat chalk because you lack calcium. You can't crush seashells and then eat it and think that you're going to get calcium. The reason is because the body cannot absorb a mineral like that. There needs to be a process called chelation. So chelation happens with the plants. The plants take this calcium and they sort of, to put it in a simple term, they combine it with something organic, an amino acid, right? So now your iron and your calcium is not iron alone, it's iron connected to something organic. And this is how the body is able to absorb the iron in and then use it. So again, for patients who are anemic, you would think that you need to eat lots of beef so that you have lots of iron, you know, raw meat so that, or medium rare steak so that there's blood. No, not true, okay? You can get lots and lots of iron and all these minerals from vegetables,
yes.
right?
Green leafy
Now,
vegetables.
Green leafy vegetables. Beth, you yourself are slightly anemic.
Yes, sir.
Because I remember when Doc Jansen was discussing the whole topic of anemia with you,
Yes,
I
sir.
found out
Actually,
you
sir.
were slightly anemic,
Yes,
alright?
sir.
Okay.
Doc Jansen.
So another
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
what did Doc Jansen prescribe for you?
Actually, Doc Jansen prescribed PPAR, sir, and he also advised me to take vitamin C for better absorption of the
Yes.
nutrients.
Alright, yeah, because you need your vitamins in order for you to use your minerals as well. Okay.
And vitamin
So,
C, it's not vitamin C, sir, the vitamins in the tablet, in the fruits. We get vitamin C in fruits, like the lantan,
Right.
lemon.
Again, everyone, you
Yes.
know, it's very different when you take vitamin C from a natural source
Yes.
versus a pill, okay?
Yes.
So again, yeah, so you heard it from Beth, who consulted with Doc Jansen because she's slightly anemic as well, okay? So I hope that answers that question. Now, if you want a more detailed list of recommendations what to eat, then go for a one-on-one consult. And one of the best things as an anemic person you can do is to take PPAR tablets as well, because PPAR tablets are nature's superfoods. So you get a whole wide range of nutrients. And also, you know, it helps to manage metabolic syndromes, it's anti-cancer, and it's anti-aging. All right, so I want to congratulate myself. My birthday was just 2 days ago. I turned 48. Okay, I've been eating Simply Nature PPAR tablets for the last 20 years. Okay, so I can tell you it has a very strong anti-aging effect. Okay, so so even if you're anemic, if you're a little bit vain like me, all right, then it's a win-win situation, okay? And we have a special deal with Simply Healed, Doc Jansen's practice, which is if whatever you spend on a consult, it becomes the consumable amount of credit for you to get Simply Nature products. So it's basically the consult becomes almost free, all right? So please take advantage of that.
Yes, sir. Next question, sir. What can anyone do to prevent leukemia within your body cells?
Oh wow, okay, as you all learn about leukemia today, and it was so interesting, right? It's about everything starts in your bone marrow, and then your blood cells have to mature, and then they become white blood cells, red blood cells, and then not only that, they become specific types of white blood cells and red blood cells. So the problem or how leukemia develops is that your cells don't mature properly. So one of the best ways is, number one, as Dr. Jansen mentioned in the talk already, avoiding certain environments, okay, chemically toxic environments, and that can affect your bone marrow cell functions. The other one is to eat a plant-based whole food diet. That keeps all the chronic inflammation, the metabolic syndromes away, and that's also another contribution factor to to developing any type of cancer, not just leukemia. And last but not least, if you are healthy, all right, and you eat normal diet like any normal person, you might have slightly blood sugar issues, slight blood cholesterol issues, things like that. Very normal for any person eating a modern day diet, okay? Then just take a PPAR tablets. That helps to manage your metabolic syndromes. And PPAR tablets contain PPAR agonists, so that helps in cell differentiation, which is the proper maturation of your cells. So your red blood cells become mature properly, and you're less likely to develop cancer. So again, for cancer survivors and people who want to prevent themselves from developing cancer, PPAR tablets is one of the best supplements that you can start with. Okay, you can start with. It's not the only supplement, but it's one of the best. And why would I recommend supplementation? Is because Dr. Jansen and I have worked with many patients, and one of the greatest challenge for anyone trying to become healthy is that honestly, it's very difficult to be disciplined.
Yes.
It's very difficult, right? So some of us are managed to stay disciplined for 6 months, 1 year. All it takes is the Christmas season to come, and then next thing we know, in January we are all fat, and then we have to start the whole process again. So one way where you can be consistent about your health 365 days a year, every day, is if you take supplementation, because you can easily stay disciplined about that. It's just something that you take regularly in the morning, one every day, and you can do it without missing it. All right. So so that's my recommendation to you. Now, you don't have to take Simply Nature PPARs, all right, but to me, that's one of the best supplements, basic supplements you can get. My only advice when you choose a supplement is try to choose something that is 100% whole food. What do I mean by that? Don't get a vitamin C tablet, or you go to multivitamin pill. No, that is not ideal. What is ideal is, let's say you take turmeric capsule. That means they take ginger, turmeric, they crush it, make it easy for you to eat, right? Or in Philippines, the very famous malunggay, right? They have malunggay capsules, things like that. Or garlic, in Singapore, there are like black garlic capsules. So that's basically garlic crushed into powder so that you can eat it easily. So that's what I mean. It's like you're really eating your vegetables, but making it convenient and easy for you to do every day without missing out. So that's the type of supplementation we would recommend. But again, to have a more detailed nutritional guideline, go for a one-on-one consult with Dr. Jansen.
Yes. If you want to go for a consult, for you to be guided with Dr. Jansen, if you want a detailed meal plan, you go for a consult because we give it free to our patients. Yes. So next, yes, sir. Next question.
Oh, Lily, sorry.
Yes,
Our regular viewer from Lily.
Yes,
happy belated birthday. Your birthday is 1 day before mine. Okay. What a wonderful coincidence.
Yes, sir. So next question, sir, coming from Mr. Fiango. What are the symptoms of leukemia?
Okay. Symptoms of leukemia. Stay tuned next week. All right.
Yes,
okay. Cancer symptoms, and leukemia is pretty hard to diagnose. Most cancers are usually found accidentally, but I believe we actually have a episode. I got to check next week. Tune in next week again. I will try and find the episode to check whether we have aired it already or not. Dr. Jansen actually goes through a simple list of symptoms, okay, for you to be able to know that you might have cancer. And what's interesting to note is that if you go and see any great family doctor, family physician. Most likely the doctor just looking at you with a combination of symptoms will be able to suspect whether you have cancer or not. And that's when they will ask you to go for a CT scan or something to confirm whether it is cancer or not. Just 2 days ago, I was talking to someone whose wife is battling cancer. I advise the person, very important, if you ever suspect that you have cancer, go for a consult. Okay, why? Because if cancer is caught in the early stages, stage 1 or 2, most cancers are 100% treatable. That means your chance of successfully fighting off the cancer, if it's stage 1 or stage 2, is like 80, 90, 95%. In many cancers, like common cancers like breast cancer, because they have dealt with it so much, it's almost 100% treatable if you catch it in stage 1. So the rule, everybody, when it comes to cancer is, if you suspect, don't waste time. Be brave, be courageous, and I'll give you the courage. The courage that I give you is this: if you discover your cancer early, it's almost 100% treatable. Now, the moment cancer becomes stage 3 or stage 4, it's a totally different animal. It's a totally different situation. What was 100% treatable now may drop all the way down to 20% or 30%, right? Most of the time it's under 50%. And if it reaches stage 4, some cancers like lung cancer is like only 6% chance of survival. So you can see there's a big difference between discovering cancer early and discovering cancer late. So if you suspect yourself, if you might have cancer, and you are kind of afraid and you want someone more familiar and warm that you can talk to, you can always do a teleconsult with Dr. Jansen. A quick conversation will let him, he will be able to tell you, okay, I think you really need to go and see a doctor face to face, okay? And probably do this scan, all right, just to check. So because if you find out your cancer early, it's almost 100% treatable. So don't wait. Don't pretend that if you don't know, it will go away. Okay, that is very risky to do, especially when it comes to cancer.
Consult ASAP.
Consult ASAP.
Yes, sir. So, Sir Mano, just comment down, and then I will be reaching out to you, sir, so that we can set a schedule for consult with Dr. Jansen. So, this will be, sir, our last question, sir, for the questions, sir, about medical questions that were not answered. I will ask Doc Jansen, sir. And then
so medical questions, right?
Yes.
We'll wait for Doc Jansen to come back next week. All right. Yeah. All right.
Don't worry, So for our last questions for tonight, my son is turning 12 years old next month. Just last year, he was diagnosed with ALL. Just want to know what kind of milk is good for him.
Okay. Non-dairy milk. All right. So the answer is non-dairy milk, soy milk. All right. Oat milk. Okay. Now do remember, the soy milk that most people can find in the supermarket are like brands like Vitasoy, which is very, very sweet. All right. So please make sure you get the unsweetened one. Okay. Anyway, when your son used to drink milk, it's not sweet also, unless you fed them chocolate or strawberry milk. But normal milk is not sweet either. So try and get the non-sweetened soy milk. That will be the best milk for them. And I cannot stress this enough. Dairy milk causes lots and lots of health issues. It blocks, it creates mucus secretion in your digestive system. It blocks your villi from absorbing nutrients. So it has a lot of negative effects. And people in our generation, my generation, I'm born in 1974, 48 years old now. We drank a lot of milk, ate a lot of ice cream, eat a lot of cheese, from pizza to spaghetti, right? And look at us. We have cancer in our 40s, right? In our 50s. And when I was younger, my grandparents' generation, any cancer patient is usually 60 years old and above. But today, we have a lot of children getting cancer. Why? Because from a very young age, the parents themselves have been taking all this, and this affects our DNA. And then our kids, the moment they are born, they are fed a lot of dairy product. So this really contributes to the increase of cancer all over the world. All over the world. China's cancer rate increased when they started to open up and they started to drink milk and eat ice cream and eat cheese. When they were more like monks in the olden days, no cancer. Okinawa, the Japanese island, all right? Most number of people will live past 100 years old. They don't take dairy. They don't take dairy. And that's another indication that really cow's milk has done a lot of, it's very challenging and it's not good for the health, especially if your child is sensitive. All right, if it has a sensitive immune system or allergies, then cow's milk is really a really bad choice for him. So go for unsweetened soy milk.
Soy milk, yes. Or even, actually, sir, almond milk.
Yes, almond milk, unsweetened almond milk. I just want to please remember, don't go for the sweetened one because they make it really so sweet to make it appetizing for people to switch from cow's milk to plant milk, but they put so much sugar that it's not really good, right? So get the unsweetened one. And even the unsweetened one is slightly sweet. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So again, for some questions that related to medical, again, we will get back to you. And again, to those who want to go for a consult with Dr. Jansen, please do comment down below so I can reach out to you, especially with regards to diet. Please do comment so we can guide you with that. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Please stay tuned for the part 2 next week, Thursday, same time, 7:30 p.m. And we have Dr. Jansen there. So
yeah, and you have Dr. Jansen joining me
yes, you can
next
ask
time.
medical questions now.
And you ask all the medical questions you want, all right? And I believe 2 weeks ago when I was not around, Dr. Jansen was with Dr. Jimmy, who's our surgical oncologist. So that was another interesting episode. I was having lunch with Dr. Jimmy recently, just last week, and Dr. Jimmy was saying, well, Dr. Jansen is really like Meron Encyclopedia. He really knows a lot, especially new stuff and everything related to cancer. So for all our regular viewers, Dr. Jansen will be back next week. For those who just joined us this week, don't miss having Dr. Jansen around because next week he'll be around for the AMA and you can ask him any question that you can think of. And of course, I'll be here to translate any of his explanations that get too technical. I'll help make it easier for everybody to understand. All right, so stay healthy, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week. I hope you enjoy the first session on leukemia. And you will notice that today we talked about leukemia, but actually what we learned a lot about is our immune system, how our bone marrow works, where our blood goes, why is the lymph nodes important, right? So these are really interesting questions. So maybe next year in 2023, we might do liver cancer. And then you'll find out more about what the liver does for your body and how important that is. And we'll go next year, maybe every quarter, we'll do a more in-depth study like we do with leukemia. And we'll cover different types of organs, different types of cancer. And we'll learn a bit more about the organ function as well. So if you are looking forward to that, just make comments down in the Facebook comments. Tell us what you'd like to know. We'll do the research and prepare the material and give you what you want. All right, so take care, stay healthy. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good night, guys.
Okay, remember, Bev, don't forget what we always say, right? Simply Nature,
yes,
we are
here in
with
Simply
you.
Nature, we are with you from start to healing. Again, guys, this is your healthcare specialist, Beth. Thank you and good night. See you next week.